Mary, could you put Mark Lace through? Not sure I'm pronouncing his last name correctly, but
Mark, your line is open. Excuse me, Mark, your line is open.
Mark, are you with us? Well, we'll come back to Mark. Is Susan? How about Susan Machete?
Susan, your line is open. Please check your mute button. Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. This is Susan, right? Correct?
Right, right.
Susan Machete.
I'm Susan Machete. I'm from Wisconsin. I'm also working with the Sierra Club's John Muir chapter of Wisconsin on this issue. I guess we reject the NRC's Waste Confidence DGEIS, and we ask for it to be withdrawn for thorough revision. We have no confidence in the NRC's Waste Confidence for the same reasons that the court found. Basically, there was an assumption made decades ago that we would have safe storage and that we would be able to deal with very toxic radioactive waste in the future, but that future has never materialized and it likely will never materialize. Therefore, that assumption upon which everything else has been based has no validity anymore. And because that has no validity, we cannot have confidence that there will ever be any safe storage for any of this nuclear waste that we're creating. Therefore, we shouldn't be creating it. Therefore, we shouldn't be relicensing, and we should make licensing a permanent moratorium on all licensing. Because we do not have any safe place to put it, any safe place to put this waste. No industry should be allowed to make and manufacture and create waste that is unsafe and that there is no place to store. The NRC should not be allowed to issue any new licenses from this point forward, or to grant any license extension, because there is no safe way to deal with the waste. And any confident statements that this is going to appear in the future are using the same assumptions that have caused us to be in this very precarious situation that we are in without a place to store nuclear waste. Dose State is a nuclear waste site dump, or should be one, and we shouldn't be having high-level nuclear waste being transported through states to go to interim permanent places that are not have no safety behind, or any more safety than where they're at. We need to keep everything on the site where it is right now in order to not create other accidents. There are technical shortcomings everywhere we look throughout the entire nuclear process. Those technical shortcomings need to be addressed and closed up too.
And if I could ask you to just finish up, Susan.
Okay, we are very concerned about risks of fuel in a fire in fuel pools, and we do prefer hardened on-site storage as storage system.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much, Susan. Mary, let's see if Mark is with us. And
I'm not showing Mark in queue, sir.
okay, great. And there's a familiar name, Jane Dugdale. Is Jane, are you there?
Mr. Cameron?
Hi.
Hello? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can.
Oh, excellent. Yes, my name is Jane Dugdale. I live in Phoenixville, Pennsylvania, within 10 miles of Exelon's Limerick Generating Station, and I'm very concerned. The waste confidence statement should be rejected. It ignores numerous catastrophic risks to everyone in and far beyond our heavily populated region. The Alliance for a Clean Environment, ACE, has studied these risks for over a decade and found volumes of evidence for these risks published at www.acereport.org. The waste confidence statement is simply sweeping these risks under the carpet. Unless you give the draft statement a vote of no confidence, the NRC is recklessly endangering our communities, and the risks described should make the NRC liable for regulatory mismanagement. 3 of the worst risks at Limerick are, first, Limerick's use of high-burn nuclear fuel. Second, its overcrowded, corroding, and thinning fuel pools. And third, its above-ground concrete cask storage system, not designed to last the length of time that the waste could be stored in them. First, regarding Limerick's use of high-burn nuclear fuel, evidence suggests its use is far more dangerous than fuel previously used at Limerick. Higher radioactive gas releases, increased corrosion, thinning and brittleness of fuel cladding, increased radioactivity and decay heat from spent fuels, and increased damage to the fuel rods in the reactor vessels, all these can result, leading to radiation leaks in the spent fuel pools and casks. My first question is this: is Exelon using high-burn nuclear fuel without regulatory oversight? Second, regarding Limerick's overcrowded fuel pools, these packed, vulnerable, thinning, and corroding pools pose catastrophic risks to our heavily populated region, yet the NRC is failing to take adequate action for precaution. Why does the NRC fail to require Exelon to adequately guard against airstrikes or missiles? Why do Limerick's 2 pools have more spent fuel than even older nuclear plants and twice as much as Fukushima's 4 pools? Why has the NRC allowed Exelon to put off even studying the risks related to earthquakes when the plant sits on an earthquake fault, is located within 17 miles of 4 other earthquake faults, and is number 3 on the nation's earthquake risk list? Why does NRC not require immediate recoding of Limerick's fuel pool liners when an NRC safety evaluation found them corroding and thinning up to 10 times faster than estimated? Third, regarding Limerick's above-ground concrete cask storage, this is a short-term solution to a long-term problem. There is no proof that spent fuel stored in dry steel containers inserted into these concrete casks can be safely removed or transported in the future, and there's no place for it. How can the NRC assure that the containers will be replaced after their 50-year lifetime or before that if they fail? Why did the NRC deny the corrosion risks found by a recent NRC safety evaluation and stop its own 2005 study when corrosion concerns were identified? Why were the concerns that ACE expressed to the NRC ignored regarding the design flaws of Limerick's concrete casks?
And Jane, I'm going to have to ask you to finish up.
Storage on-site is the least bad long-term solution to
Jane,
waste
could
containment.
you finish up for us, Jane?
Yes, we must stop making this deadly radioactive waste for which there is no safe solution. The NRC should move to repurpose plants such as Limerick and encourage electricity generation by improving efficiency and investing in renewable sources of energy such as solar and wind. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jane. Just a message for those of you on the phone. We think we've figured out what the problem is in terms of you not knowing that we want you to talk. There's a 30-second delay apparently on the webcast. So if you're watching the webcast, I might have already called your name, but you're waiting for the 30-second delay webcast to be over. So if you've pressed star 1 and you're waiting to talk, you might want to pay attention to your phone to hear if Mary is calling your name rather than just watching the webcast for that. So we'll see how that works. And we're going to go back. I don't think Alex Thrower, Alex is not here, is he? Okay. And this is a challenge. Diane Sismil. SZCZESMIL. Okay. And let's go to Brad Carvalho.